Okay, we back? Yeah, is the stream back? So, internet completely disconnected, and then after it completely disconnected, OBS crashed. So, yeah, that's what happened. It cut me off while I was talking about the donation goals too. Dang it. Slim says you appear to be okay. All right, so I'm gonna restart, but I'm gonna restart saying what the remaining donation goals are. So, we've reached, again, just to recap, we've passed the first 5 donation goals. So, I'll be doing a Pokemon, at some point I'll be doing a Pokemon Smash or Pass stream. At some point I'm going to do a stream where I'm going to let y'all suggest characters I have to draw from memory. At some point, I'll play God Hand for the first time. Y'all will get to decide what the 200th playthrough is, which that's going to be a special event, because when I start that playthrough, every single stream will be that game until I beat it. And then I am going to have to do the Capcom Fighters Marathon from Hell, since we passed that goal. We're now currently working our way towards the $600 donation goal, which is me playing The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker for the first time. And then if we manage to get that, I'll do the $700... We'll start working our way towards the $700 donation goal, which is y'all getting to decide a new emote for the channel. Then if we pass that, if we pass that and reach the $800 donation goal, I'll do some D&D solo adventures. These are D&D... So for those who don't know, these are smaller D&D campaigns designed to be played by one player. Kind of the D&D equivalent... almost like the D&D equivalent of a choose-your-own-adventure book. Like, the person who is reading through the campaign also controls the character, also controls the player. Or is also the player who's playing the character who's running the campaign. So if we do this, I'll let y'all like influence the design for a character or maybe multiple characters I make in these game books, and then depending on how much money I have, I'll either get one or a couple of these these solo adventure game books, and I'll play through them. If we reach $900, I'll play Sonic Adventure 2 for the first time, and if we reach $1,000, y'all will get to decide a game I must 100%. So that's either a game on. So I'll go to the list of I'll make a list of games that I have on my PC and on my PlayStation 5 that I'd be willing to get all the trophies or achievements in, and then I'll give y'all that list, and y'all get to decide which of those games I must play until I get all the trophies or all the achievements. And that's kind of where we're at with the donation goals. We passed the first 5, and we're now in the second half of the current list. Now, if we do reach $1,000 donated in total, I will come up with more donation goals. But we'll just have to see that. I'll wait to come up with those other donation goals until we get like really close to $1,000. So we'll just have to see if we get that far. Also, just to mention again, so bit subs and gift subs do count towards the donathon. So if you're able to if you'd like to support by subbing to the channel, gifting a sub to the channel, or donating bits to the channel, that does help, and thank you for doing so. However, direct donations help out a lot more. Just because direct donation, if you do directly donate to my PayPal, which I just posted the link there in the Twitch chat. If you donate to if you do donate to me through PayPal, the money you donate reaches me immediately, instead of me having to wait for until at least halfway through February, and maybe even longer, depending on like how things go. So, if you're able to, please consider donating. We're currently at about $504.69, so we're about less than $96 away from the next donation goal. So, if we were to reach, if like $96 were donated, then I would have to play The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. But we're kind of, and also every single dollar donated, even though I'm not playing Bloodborne, every single dollar donated will add more lives to me playing Bloodborne, which that'll be since I wasn't able to stream yesterday, that'll be continuing tomorrow. So yeah, that's another thing, is that in addition to all the donations counting toward these donation goals, they will also add more lives to my Bloodborne playthrough, which the way that's working is that I'm going to play Bloodborne until I run out of lives, or until I beat the game, at which point I will probably keep it going into another difficult game until I run out of lives. So yeah, if you're able to, please consider donating. If you're not able to or don't feel like donating, I understand. And thank you for at least watching the stream. I'm trying desperately. I'm already desperate to find a job, but I'm trying desperately to get a new job before the end of January, because on like February 1st, I'm gonna have bills I have to pay. And gosh, I'm gonna have to need to come up with the money somehow in order to pay for those. Well, next Tuesday is my birthday. I guess I could just like post a link to my PayPal and say, hey, if anyone wants to donate, if anyone wants to give me a birthday gift, just a few dollars would be nice. That reminds me, I'll need to think about what to do on my birthday next Tuesday. I'd like to stream maybe even longer than like 4 hours if able to, but I'll have to think about what I'm going to play. I'll get back to ranking PS1 games in a little bit. Let me just make sure that the stream is holding together. Okay, let me use Yasuna to heal everybody. Let me just check to make sure. Oh, they're sleeping. Okay, then in that case. Yeah. Revive them. Or bring them back. What? I guess that doesn't cure sleeping. Okay, nothing in there. The chest contained the Mithril Sword. Mithril Axe. Werebuster. Is that a weapon? Or... okay, it's a staff. A spiked mace that is effective against beasts. But were means man. Unless man is counted as a beast in this. Maybe it isn't. Or maybe they are. Okay, we're all out of, like, everyone's out of magic, so we're just gonna have to do physical attacks. Okay, and then going back to ranking PS1 games. So if you weren't here for if you weren't here before the stream collapsed, if you weren't here before the stream collapsed, I've been ranking, while I'm playing this, I'm ranking the PS1 games I played, and so far the ranking is, S tier is Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, Parasite Eve, and Resident Evil 2. A tier is Metal Gear Solid 1, Darkstalkers 3, Darkstalkers 1, Spyro 2, Bloody Roar 2, and Mega Man Legends. B tier is Spyro 3, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, Silent Hill, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Klonoa, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Resident Evil 1, the original Resident Evil 1, Capcom vs. SNK 1, Spyro 2, Spyro... it should be Spyro 1 here, yeah. Then Bloody Roar 1, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, and then, like, X-Men Children of the Atom. Then in C tier is Dino Crisis, Breath of Fire 4, Crash 3 and 2, Primal Rage, and then all 3 of the Rampage games that are on PlayStation 1. Then in D tier is Crash Bandicoot 1, and F tier is Iron and Blood Warriors Ravenloft. Second Respawn says, good luck, gotta go. Have a great stream. Thank you, Second Respawn. Hope you have a good day. Hold on, I need to check. Okay, that just goes in here. Okay, going with, I've got about 2 more games. There's 2 more games, or 2 more PlayStation 1 games I think I can rank right now, because I played them. I've played them enough. And I would say, okay, so that's Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. Well, Street Fighter Alpha 3. The upper version is like, I think that, I'm not sure if the version that's on PS1 is Alpha 3 Upper, or if that's a different version, but I believe it might be. Or Alpha 3 Upper might be the original arcade version, now that I think about it. Oh, gosh. Dang it. It's this guy again. You know what? Let me use the Warp Tome. Oh. It missed. Well, what other items do we have? Okay, let's use the Blind Tome to blind him. Gosh dang it, Furion. Okay, fine. Normal attacks it is. Okay, so we're gonna try to fight this turtle again. In the meantime... Yeah, ranking these 3... Okay, Alpha 3, I'm gonna put that at... I'm gonna put that at the bottom of A tier now. I do think overall it's a pretty good fight. I do think overall it's a really good fighting game. Well, actually, maybe it like the Yeah, maybe yeah, okay, at the bottom of yeah, I think I put that at like the bottom of A tier. Actually, hold on. I might move these around. I might move some of these fighting games around a little bit. Let me actually move... Let me move... Okay, I'm gonna move Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. I'm gonna move that above Bloody Roar 1. And I think I'll move that above Spyro 1. Move Capcom vs. SNK 1. I'm gonna move that to... Yeah, I'm going to move that above Klonoa, because I definitely would rather play Capcom vs. SNK 1 again over Klonoa. And I did over... I would say X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Let me move that to... I'm going to put... Okay, I'll put that above... I'm going to put that above Spyro 3. Then yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. I'm going to put that... I'm gonna put that alongside X-Men vs. Street Fighter at the top of B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put that there. I guess I'll put it like, yeah, I'll put it here. I'll put it a little above it. Alpha 3, I wouldn't say is close. I wouldn't say Alpha 3 is close to my favorite Street Fighter game, but it is it's Street Fighter. It's still really fun. And it does have quite a few of the characters I really like. So I'll put it right there. And then I'll put Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I'm gonna put that one... Let me put that one, like... I think I'd put Marvel vs. Capcom 1 above Bloody Roar 2. I think Darkstalkers 1 and 3 are overall my favorite, like the Darkstalkers games are overall my favorite, like, fighting games on the PS1. Out of the ones I played. But, MVC1 is a lot of fun. It has quite a few fun. It has like a varied roster. It's got a varied and really fun roster. Like it really does feel more like it does. Like it takes from more. I like that it has a varied roster that takes from more of the games than just more Capcom games than just Street Fighter, and it does. Like it has some like characters you really expect to be there representing Capcom, like Mega Man. Like Mega Man, Morgan, Chun-Li, and Ryu. And it also has some odd picks that I think fit right in, like Jin Sayatome from Cyberbots. I do think overall I am a bigger fan of like the Capcom side of the roster in MVC1 than the Marvel side of the roster. Because as far as the Marvel side of the roster, the only character I really like there is like Spider-Man. But then there's also but thankfully there are a lot of characters included in the assist characters you could call in. Yeah, I'd say that's where that would fall for right now. And like all these other games, I'd either need to play, I need to play more of before I could come to a judgment on them. Yeah, all these games I'd say I need to I need to play more of them before I could come to a judgment on them. I also need to find I've played enough of Night Warriors Darkstalkers Revenge to put it here on this list, but I need to figure out where. But I guess I just didn't find an icon or add an icon of it here. Yeah, I'd see for right now, here, this is where everything go. There's a couple of games in S tier, but the majority of the games there's a couple of games in S tier and quite a few games in C tier and below. However, most of the games here are in B tier and A tier, because I mean, yeah, even a lot of the games on the PS1 that I've played so far are just a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed playing them. So. Uh-oh. I guess let me use this. Try to put him to sleep. Of course, we might have just woken them back up. Yeah, we might have just woken them back up by attacking them immediately afterwards. Yeah, so that's my current ranking of all the PS1 games I played, and there's a lot more PS1 games I'd like to get to. Yeah, there's a lot more PS1 games I'd like to get to. There's still quite a few fighting games and a lot of RPGs that I'd really love to get to whenever I can. And there's probably even more games that I haven't gotten to play yet that I should really get to. Let me check on things over here. Okay, just checking to see where the stream's going, and then... Oh, Gordon's not doing well. We might have to we might have to, get out of the tower, and then heal up, and then re-enter the tower from the very beginning. Oh, Gordon's dead. Well, we've got, 3 Phoenix downs. I guess I could revive him, but... Might need to run, actually, because Maria's also getting low on health. Yeah, let's run. Do we have anything that we can use to get out of here? It doesn't look like it, actually. Yeah, so we need to go... Okay, well, let's go up here, I guess. We might be near the end of this area. Let me... We really don't have a lot of health left, but let me... Okay, I'll revive Gordon. Yeah, that really didn't do much, but let's... Oh, okay, no. We can't fight them right now. Yeah, we can't really fight them right now, so let's get out of here. Let's see if we can make it to the top. Uh-oh. Oh, we did just get a Blink Tome. Creates a double image raising evasion when using battle. Let me give that to Maria. Oh, monsters. Okay. Uh-oh. After this battle, I should definitely make, like, a quick save. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it, Gordon. I guess when I was back in town last Tuesday, I probably should have gotten some, like, escape rope so I could easily get out of here. In case I needed to. Okay, let me equip... Now, let me give her this, and then I'll... Let me quick save. Okay, I'll grab Gordon and lug his body around as we try to get out of here. Okay, okay. That might be... Eye drops. Mallet. Antidote. Doesn't really help us that much here, but okay. Well, I hate to flee, but for any fights against, like, some enemies who are, like, very... who could, like, tank a bunch of physical attacks like the Tauruses, they're not really something we can do right now. Now we can fight. Oh, okay, we really gotta go. got... No, let's just use this, and then... Let's have her cast Asuna. That's not good. Okay, let's get rid of these guys quickly. And... if only there was some sort of save point where I could go back to heal. That would really help me. That would really help me out right now. Change the balance on very... Okay, hold on. Let me just check something for a second. Well, I think we do need to, like, leave here. Okay, let's leave... Yeah, let me leave the dungeon, heal up, and then we'll go right back in. Sleep says there's usually a save point right outside the boss room. Well, let's try getting there and see if there is. Yeah, let me try getting there and see if there is. Sleep says you could turn off random encounters, you just go to the end dungeon. Oh, I already went there. Okay. Okay, that leads... Let's go back here. Yeah, let's flee. Ow. So, I remember, if I remember correctly, combat encounters is level 3? Is L3? No, that changes my running speed. The only thing is, if I get to the boss encounter room and there's not a save point right outside of it, then I'm going to be really screwed. That'll be a big problem. Oh, Maria's really not doing good on health. Okay, we gotta go this way. Alright, so let's... Let me see if I can get rid... let me see what's behind these doors and see where I can go. Nope. Not this way. Okay, so... Well, that one says that it goes up, but... That didn't lead me into room... Okay, let me try this doorway Let me try this pathway down at the, or this exit down here at the bottom left. Maybe that's where I need to go. So yeah, just a little reminder that because I wasn't able to stream on Monday, I'll be back tomorrow, and the Bloodborne stream that would have happened on Monday is going to happen tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we're going to have to play this one as well. I feel like Gordon's really regretting going with us. Sleepless. Did you lie again? There's a save point before the bosses. I gotta stop trusting Sleepless when it comes to these Final Fantasy games. Oh, Gordon wants to say something. Oh, I'd heard there was a monster called Eagle's Torch. Now I see with my own eyes. It's a red soul. Well, this isn't gonna end well, I don't think. Wait, it's a red. Why? It looks like fire. Why is it casting? Why is it casting ice magic? I think this is going to be the first game over I get in this entire game. In this entire playthrough so far. And well, okay, half of it is my fault for continuing to fight that. Half of it is my fault for continuing to fight that turtle, even though I had like no magic left, and just kept punching it, causing us to take a lot of extra damage. But half of it is Sleepless' fault for lying to me again. If we somehow manage to kill this thing, I'm going to be surprised. We're not going to. I'm gonna have to put it like a giant sticky for the Final Fantasy playthroughs. I'm gonna have to put get a giant sticky note and or a giant note. For my notepad, or for the notes that I have in between streams, and add a giant note in bold text that says, "Do not trust Sleepless. Do not trust Sleepless in Final Fantasy." So sometimes there are actually two Sleeplesses. One always tells truth. One tells truths about Final Fantasy. The other tells only lies. And you will never be sure which Sleepless you will get watching the stream. Sir, I said usually. Oh, we actually won. Oh, wow, okay. Wow, we actually did win. That's surprising. So it says, you watch this fight, see there's no save point at no 8 MP or HP. Why are you not walking around with items? I used up quite a few of them. I used up quite a few of them already. You got Eagle's Torch to the chest. Hooray! Okay. Let's get out of here. Okay. So we only have 2 Phoenix Downs left. I'm going to use them to heal up everyone. And then I will for this one time actually turn off. I'm going to turn off encounters as we leave here, so that we can just get out of here. We're just gonna walk right out of here and then go. You don't realize it until you play a game like you don't realize it until you play a game like Final Fantasy II on one day of the week, and a game like RoboCop Rogue City on another day of the week. But it is a really important part of the game, of a game design, to where if you throw the player into a dungeon, you include a good way for them to get out after they solve the conflict. Instead of just having them just silently walk their way back the exact way they came. Yeah, we're just gonna go through here. Note to self: if they have escape ropes, make sure to get some. Yeah, if one of the towns has escape ropes, make sure to get some. Oh, I think this might be... Yep, that's where we go. Okay. There we go, we're at the exit. Key items, Eagle's Torch. There. We got the Sunfire. Yes. Is someone here? Or we have to walk out into a ambush by the Empire? Uh-oh. Someone is getting ambushed by the Empire. Okay, so let's use... I have these cottages, so let me use one. So they can all get some darned rest. I am really surprised we managed to kill that boss with how little health and magic with how little health we had. Okay, now that they're all healed up, we can turn the encounters back on. There. Okay, so let's figure out where I need to go next. I think... Okay, right. We need to go back to Altair to let them know that we have the Sunfire. Looks like I'm going to be walking a long distance. Oh! There's a Chocobo! You found a Chocobo. Yeah, let's go, Chocobo! Best Burb. Oh, I need to cross the water. Dang it. Okay, well... Maybe I need to take the long way around? Yeah, maybe I need to take the long way around and actually go this way. Huh. Okay, well, there's a castle there. We're not... I don't think I'm going to be getting to there anytime soon. Wait, why am I trying to explore? This is Final Fantasy 2. Why am I trying to explore around? What do I think this is? A good Final Fantasy game? That was really harsh, even for me. That was me being very harsh. That was me being very harsh. Even for me, that was maybe a bit too harsh. That went a lot more... Well, thank you, Chocobo. That went a lot more smoother than I expected than usual. Thanks, Chocobo. And away they Choco-go. Are you guys sure you want to do this? I mean, okay. Okay, let's go in here. And let's go talk to the, let's go talk to people. Let's go talk to the, princess here. Princess? Where'd she go? Okay, well, let's go see if Minwu's helping out the king. Maybe he'll know what to do. The princess felt badly about sending you out on such dangerous assignments. Don't! These guys are gluttons for punishment! She thought the least she could do was meet you at Kashwad Keep on Cid's airship. Oh. Well. The amount of supplies needed to keep a vessel of that size running must be enormous. I'll have to set it down somewhere eventually. Okay. Okay, looking at my guide here, it says I need to, like, talk to people around. Looks like the princess is trapped inside the Dreadnought. Please, you must rescue her. It appears the Empire has a supply base far to the north of Fynn. The Dreadnought may be docked there now. Ah, Princess Hilda. Oh, that's the Sunfire of Kashwad. Use that Sunfire to blow up the Dreadnought. I tried to stop the princess from boarding the airship, but she wouldn't listen. I have to think she's been captured by the Empire now. You just gotta save Princess Hilda. We can't. None of us are gonna do it. Besides, you guys are clearly gluttons for punishment. The princess lived on Cid's airship to meet you at Kashwad Keep. I mean, just think of how dangerous. Yeah. And, like, how horrible. Yeah. And how frightening all those enemies of the Dreadnought are gonna be. Yeah. Okay, well, you don't have to look that excited. If the Dreadnought attacks again, we're finished. Let's sit down. Okay, I guess they said Fynn. Okay, we'll need to head to Fynn. Let me see if I can buy some stuff first. Okay, we're full on our health. We do really need to, like, increase everyone's MIP, because it's not that high at all. Okay, get some high potion. Yeah, let's get some high potions. No, not antidotes. Let's... Cross mallet moon. None of these. Phoenix Downs, let's get, like... Yeah, 5 of those. Restores a small amount of MIP. Okay, let me sell some of these stuff I'm not going to use, so... I'm not going to use these, I'm not going to use this. Okay. I'm not really going to use the Mithril Maces. So that... Yeah, let's sell all these things I'm not using in a minute. Sell all these things I'm not using, and then I'll just use the money to buy some ethers. Yeah, we definitely need to... Okay, I need to invest more in ethers. Because, yeah, I definitely need to invest more in ethers. Warebuster... I guess I could sell this and this. Yeah, I'll sell both of those. Well, let me try... Okay, I might actually try grinding for money a little bit, just to get more ethers. So let's... First, I'm gonna use the boost again. And, like, raise the amount of gear I can get, and then I'm just gonna fight some things right out here. This shouldn't take that long. We're a lot stronger than these basic mobs here. So how much skill do we have? Like 735, 739? Okay. Let's quickly get some more. And then I might, I did, besides that list of PS1 games, PlayStation 1 games I was ranking, I also have this list of Game Boy Advance games that I've played that I'd like to rank on stream. This is another thing I'd started on previous streams, but then after I lost my laptop, I kind of lost that list, and so I'd have to restart all the way from the beginning. So let me see. This is a lot larger list than the PS1 list, just because it has basically every Game Boy Advance game I could think, basically every Game Boy Advance game I know of. Okay, there it is. So yeah, just get into some of these Game Boy Advance games I've played. Okay, Final Fantasy VI. I played a different I'm gonna count that one as played a different version because I played the Pixel Remaster version of that. Same with Final Fantasy 1 and 2, this collection here. I'm gonna count that as played as different version because I'm playing the Pixel Remaster versions of these, literally right now in a 2's case. Alright, so for some of these games, let me put... Alright, easy S tier. Easy S tier, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Yeah, easy S tier, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. That's probably overall my favorite game on the Game Boy Advance. That was like one of the foundational RPGs. That was like one of the foundational RPGs. For me getting into RPGs was Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. That's also probably one of the games I've played the most. Like, I've played it at least 5 times. Counting the playthrough I did last year, I've played it at least 5 times. I've played Superstar Saga a lot. So yeah, that's an easy S tier. Just one of the best games on the Game Boy Advance. Sleeper says, yo, that was my FF1 and 2. That was my first FF. So... Interestingly enough, the saga of me the saga before First Fantasy of me starting Final Fantasy games and then not beating them and then just losing track of them, that starts all the way back when I had my Game Boy Advance, because I'm going to go ahead and move this to different versions. I originally had Final Fantasy V on the Game Boy Advance. I originally had, Final Fantasy V on the Game Boy Advance was the first Final Fantasy I had. And I played through quite a bit of it in my young years. But then at some point, I don't know what happened, but I think I just lost it. I just lost my copy of it. and so I never ended up beating it. So that's like even before I had Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy IX, was like started those on other systems. I had Final Fantasy V, which I started on GBA, and then I ended up not beating it, just because I like lost track of my game. Okay. Speaking of Final Fantasy games I have played, so okay. Also, let me put, because I played like the PS4 versions. Okay. Well, I played the versions of Doom 1 and 2. I played the versions of Doom 1 and 2 that are included in the PS4 collection. So, I'm adding those to play different versions. Okay, let me include a Final Fantasy game I have played. And again, this isn't like First Fantasy where I'm like the First Fantasy ranking, where I'm comparing these Final Fantasy games against other Final Fantasy games. This is like me comparing these against. This is Game Boy Advance games compared against other Game Boy Advance games. So, in that respect, I'm going to give Final Fantasy Tactics D. I still think there's some aspects of it that are impressive for what it was trying to do on Game Boy Advance, but I also think it was one of the games that actually was hampered by being on Game Boy Advance. And I'm glad that I finally... also, as far as, like... Actually, as far as games of, like, me trying to beat Final Fantasy games... Yeah, I mean, as far as games like me trying to beat Final Fantasy games but never getting the chance to beat them... Or me starting them and never getting a chance to beat them... I mean, that really did... Even before Final Fantasy V, that started with Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Until I beat that last year. Which, I am glad that I finally did beat it, but I don't really have any inclination to ever go back and play it again. Yeah, overall, I'm glad I played it. Probably will never do so again. And really, even compared to other tactics games on the GBA, I couldn't really find any reason to recommend it. Okay, let me go ahead and rank the 2 Metroid games I played, which Metroid Zero Mission, that gets an A rank for me. Metroid Zero Mission is like a really good remake of the original Metroid, to the point where I really don't think I could... Like, I've played a little bit of the original Metroid on NES, but I really don't think I could go back and, like, fully play through the original Metroid now that I've played Zero Mission. It's just a much better overall... Like, it just kind of, like... Everything that I could enjoy in the NES version, I think the Zero Mission does, and, like... is better at. And then as far as Metroid Fusion, yeah, Metroid Fusion, that is an S tier. That is overall probably my second favorite game on the GBA. I am amazed, like, that was the game that made me fall in love with the Metroid series, because that was the first Metroid game I played. And I am amazed at how good of a horror game that is on the, I'm amazed at how good of a horror game on Game Boy Advance, especially considering it was made for Game Boy Advance, that Metroid Fusion is. Like, it is like a horror game. Like, it's one of the few Metroid games that just drops all pretense and just, like, says, yeah, we're just gonna make a horror game. We're still gonna keep it like a Metroidvania, but it is also a horror game. And it does it really well. So yeah, out of... Like, I'd say overall, that's probably, so far, my second favorite game on Game Boy Advance. Let me see what other ones I could rank here. Okay, yeah, let me see what other games I could rank here, and... Oh, well, I just beat Mega Man... Okay, well, I beat Mega Man 01 in November, and I just beat Mega Man 02 at the end of December, so let me rank those. Yeah, let me put... I'm gonna put Mega Man 02. I'll put that as a C tier. That was alright. Yeah, I'll put that as C tier. Alright, nothing really stood out. It was overall a decent experience, but nothing really stood out to me. Nothing really wowed me, so yeah, I put that as C tier. Like, top of the C tier. Like, I really have no interest to go back and play it again, but yeah, won't have any interest to go play it again, but yeah, top of the C tier. It was overall I am glad that I did get to play it. Okay, then Mega Man 01. I'm also going to put that alongside Mega Man 0. Again, sort of a thing where it's like decent experience. Nothing really wow to impress me. I'm glad that I did play it, but actually, you know, I'd probably put... Okay, I'm going to put Mega Man Zero at the bottom of the B tier. I'm going to put Mega Man Zero at bottom of B tier. It's much the same as Mega Man Zero 2, but I do overall think I enjoyed, like, Mega Man Zero 1 a little more than Mega Man Zero 2. Okay, let's get in one more fight, and then I'll go buy some more ethers. Okay. Other games that include Golden Sun. Okay, Golden Sun. Golden Sun goes here in A tier, as far as Game Boy Advance games. And it's funny because, like, I definitely want to replay Golden Sun on the channel again. I've already played it twice on the channel, and I want to do it again because the gameplay of Golden Sun is so much fun. It still has like one of the most unique RPG and really well made RPG systems of like collecting all these little monsters, and then how you attach them to your characters decides what abilities they have, what class they have, what elements they use. It's so like gameplay, and then also there's the whole thing of like all the different. There's also the thing of like that so many. There's also the thing of like in order to find the like little Djinn which give you more abilities, you have to go searching out in the world, and then you also you can use some of those synergies like to solve puzzles in the map, and like the magic system. And that the magic system isn't just like magic in battles, you actually do use it to affect the world around you for solving puzzles. Is really cool. However, I can't put it in S tier because as good as the gameplay is in Golden Sun, it's got the most basic RPG story and characters. Like, none of the characters stick out in Golden Sun, and the story is really just very basic. I mean, it's go to 4 lighthouses, stop them from lighting 4 lighthouses. It's stop villains from lighting 4 lighthouses. There's really not any like memorable characters or memorable story to there. It's really all. It is like that game is all just gameplay. As far as it appeals, it's all just gameplay, but it's really good gameplay. So yeah, A tier for Golden Sun. I want to. One of the reasons why I really want to get to replaying. Why I want to replay. Golden Sun. Why I want to replay Golden Sun again on the channel is so that I can get to Golden Sun 2. Because I've played through Golden Sun like twice already, but I have never beaten Golden Sun 2. Okay, let's buy a couple more ethers. Alright, let's get going to Fien. Yeah, let's start making our way to Finn. Hold on, let me take this down for a moment and see. Like, where's Finn at, exactly? Okay, it's over there, so... Alright, let's go. But anyway, let me see what other games I can rank. What other GBA games I can rank. All the Mega Man Battle Network games, I'm going to save those until after I beat them on stream, which I do want to get to at some point, is playing all those games on stream. Those games were like a foundation. Those were like games I have a lot of nostalgia for, and I really want to see... I really want to play them on the channel at some point to see if they hold up as well as I remember. Let me see what else we got here. Let me see what else we got here that I can rank. Okay, Super Mario... Yeah, okay, Game Boy Advance version of Super Mario World. That was the first version of Super Mario World I played. That goes in A tier. It's Super Mario World. It's really good. It's Super Mario World. Of course, it's going to be really good. It's Super Mario World. It's one of the most famous 2D it's one of the like Mario games that everybody knows of or is familiar with. Oh, Pokemon Emerald. That's okay. I'm gonna put that in. Actually, you know what? Let me hold off on ranking that just yet. It's been a long. Pokemon Emerald is like I've played that game quite a few times, but I played it as a kid, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But I don't know how well it holds up. So that might be another game that I try to like replay at some point. If I can ever do that, like, playing through doing Nuzlocke of all the mainline Pokemon games, That'd be a good time to, like, see how well Emerald holds up. Okay, let me see what other games I got here that I can rank. There's... I think that says Final Fantasy IV, which I'll add that to play different version, because I'm going to play the Pixel Remaster of Final Fantasy IV when I get to that. Okay, Super Mario Advance. Okay, this one... Okay, this is... Yeah, I'll go ahead and rank this, because this is basically just Super Mario... This is just like Super Mario Bros. 2, which I'm going to put that in D tier, like probably even lower than Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I know that Super Mario Bros. 2 is supposed to be like, oh, it's like a different game, they just slapped a Mario on. But even then, it's really not that good. Like, I could see myself casually replaying like Super Mario World or like Yoshi's Island a lot of times. Which, let me go and find Yoshi's Island in here. But like I've played quite a bit of. I've played some of Super Mario Bros. 2, and I really don't have any interest in ever playing again, unless it's like something y'all would make me do for like a challenge, like something y'all want to see for like a challenge stream or challenge run. Like I really can't see myself playing Final Fantasy, not Final Fantasy, excuse me, Super Mario Bros. 2 again. Okay, let's go in here. So says Minish Cap. I haven't played Minish Cap. That's a game I would like to play at some point. Minish Cap is absolutely a game I'd love to play at some point. That's on my list of like Zelda games to stream when I can get the chance. Let's see, what else have I played? Okay, Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm gonna put that at like I'll put that at like B tier. Super Mario Bros. 3, I do think is a good game. And again, this is just like the GBA version of it. I do think Super Mario Bros. 3 is a good game, but I just, it's not my Mario Bros. Like, I'm much more a fan of, like, when it comes to 2D Mario games, I'm much more a fan of Super Mario World. And then, where is... Let me find Yoshi's Island on here. Yeah, let me find Yoshi's Island on here, because that absolutely goes in S tier. Okay, Aria of Sorrow, I can rank that as well, but let me find Yoshi's Island here. Oh, okay, let's go... Here, I'll go ahead and rank your Aria of Sorrow. I'll put that at the A tier as well. Let me put that, like, actually... I'd probably put that, like, right below Metroid Zero Mission. I think I definitely... After playing enough of the Castlevania games, enough of the Metroid games, I think I'd definitely say that I prefer the Metroid version of Metroidvania over the Castlevania version of Metroidvania. I do like some of the Castlevanias. I just think that overall I've had much more enjoyment of the Metroid side of those. Slim says Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, Binding Blade, Blazing Blade. No, I'd need to... Those are other games that I also need to play. Like, those are also on my list of games to play for the first time. GBA games to play for the first time on stream. Because my first Fire Emblem... Okay, I played Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. I played the Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, the remake for the DS, a little bit of that. And then I didn't get into Fire Emblem at that point. And then I played Fire Emblem Awakening, and that's where I really got into Fire Emblem. I'm one of those Fire Emblem fans that got into Fire Emblem thanks to Awakening. Here, let me put... Okay, I'm going to put Yoshi... Here's Yoshi's Island. That's an S tier. Yeah, Yoshi... Okay, this is heavily based off of nostalgia, but I just love Yoshi's Island. That's one of my favorite 2D platformers. I have played that game like 10 to 20 times. Love that game so much. Sleep says, I mean, I am too low. If I could... When I play more 3DS games on the channel, eventually I'll get to playing more 3DS games on the channel. And when I do so, more DS and 3DS games on the channel. And when I get to doing so, we'll definitely have to do a ranking for like DS and 3DS games. Okay, let me take this down for a little bit, and then let me see what I'm supposed to do here. Just want to say again, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider donating. Donations really help me out right now, whilst I'm trying to find a job. And, yeah, donations really help me out right now. whilst I'm trying to find a job. And if you're able to, please consider donating directly, because that'll help me out the most. Because those donations will then reach me immediately. All right, let's try. Apparently the Dreadnought is north of Fynn, so we have to go... Okay, we're gonna have to go northwest of Fynn. In that case, okay, while I'm doing that, let's go back to rank... Yeah, while I'm doing that, let me get back to ranking, I'd also, okay, there's, like, most of these games are games I'd like to play at some point, including, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. I know there's, like, a collection of classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, and if that has the Game Boy Advance games, I wouldn't mind getting that collection, because I'm not too familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! I was, like, casually a fan of it as a kid. I wouldn't mind getting more into Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I really especially want to watch the 5Ds anime at some point. And there's some of the GBA games that I've played a bit of when I was younger, and I remember liking them. So those are the games that I would like to go back. I would like to go back and play. Oh, you know, okay, Zelda. This is the Legend of Zelda. This is A Link to the Past. Yeah, this is the Game Boy Advance version of Link to the Past. Let me go ahead and put this at. I'm gonna put a Link to the Past Zelda. I'm gonna put that at B tier. That's another sort of game where it's another sort of game like Super Mario Bros. 3, where I can definitely see why a lot of people like it, and I can see why it's influenced games so much and why it's held up as one of the greats. However, it's not one, like, just personal taste. I like a lot of other games more than it. Like, sort of like how I'm glad that I played Super Mario Bros. 3, but I don't really think I'd ever go back to playing it, unless y'all, like, really wanted me to do so. It's a similar situation of, like, I enjoyed playing Link to the Past when I did play it. I did play it on stream a long time ago. Like, back in, like, early 2020. And I did have a good time playing it, but I just really don't really have any interest in playing it again. Again, and there's, like, a lot of other Zelda games that I'd rather get to. Like, I'd much rather play, like, Minish Cap for the first time. Okay, let me go... So, I have played Street Fighter Alpha 3, but I'm gonna save... I'm not gonna add the... And even though I've played, like, the version of it in the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, I'm going to save this version because if I ever do that Game Boy Advance Fighting Games showcase, I'm definitely going to have to play this game as part of it. The Game Boy Advance version of Alpha 3. And really the Game Boy Advance version of any of these fighting games. I'm going to have to play them again. I'm going to have to play them or play them again as if I ever get to do that showcase. Alright, let me check to see if there's anything else here I can include. Wait, what's it? Why are they taking damage? Oh, he's poisoned. Oh, Konami Crazy Racers. Have to include this game. This one's also going to B tier. This one's just it's a very simple kart racer. You know, it's a very simple kart racer, but this one really gets, like, far from me on just of how crazy, for lack of a term, it is. Like, the fact that it's a kart racing game with, like, with, like, Gray Fox and Dracula in it. It's meant to be like a Mario Kart kind of kart racer, but it uses series from Konami's it uses Konami-owned series, so it's got a much more varied selection of characters. It's just kind of funny to me. And that kind of uniqueness helps it get far with me. Okay, I think I might have gone too far northwest. Let me check to see. Okay, no, okay. I actually am going in the right direction. I need to go to the northwest corner of the map and loop back over to the southeast corner of the map. Okay, so I have to. Trying to think if there's any of these other Game Boy Advance games I can go ahead and rank. A lot of these are games that I do want to get to playing on the channel. Okay, let me have them cast some magic. Trying to think there's... Oh, wait, okay, I can... Okay, there is one of these games I can go ahead and rank. Okay, so Guilty Gear X. This one might also be featured if I do that handheld fighting game showcase. If I do that GBA fighting game showcase, this Guilty Gear game, the Guilty Gear Extreme on the GBA might be included, but that one's also gonna have... But I've played enough of that in a previous stream to where I can rank it. That one's sadly gonna have to go in D tier. It's one of those cases where it's like funny bad. Where it's funny, not good, just because they tried to fit a whole, like, a Guilty Gear game on the, they try to fill a Guilty Gear, like an older Guilty Gear game on the Game Boy Advance, which has 2 face buttons. So they tried to fit, like, a 4 or 6 button fighter onto a 2 button system. Which really, causes some problems. And they, like, the graphics also have issues. But it is kind of like, again, it's one of those cases where it's kind of like funny bad, where it's like, it's funny that they try to do this. And they did make it's funny they try to do it and how poorly it ends up. Sleeper says Chain of Memories. No, we're saving Chain of Memories for if I can, whenever I get to fully playing through whenever I get to that Kingdom Hearts replay through, I'm going to play original Chain of Memories instead of, like, Chain of Memories. Yeah, I'm going to play original Chain of Memories instead of Chain of Memories when I get to Chain of Memories in the Kingdom Hearts replay through. So we're going to save Chain of Memories. We're going to save original Chain of Memories until I can get to that one. Now, if this was Chain of Memories on here, we would create a new tier. A new tier below F tier. That's like, doesn't even deserve to be an F tier for Chain of Memories. And you might think, Brawl, but Chain of Memories isn't a Game Boy Advance game. It's a PS2 game that got remastered into a PS4 game. And yes, even by the standards of even comparing it to like actual Game Boy Advance games and the standards of Game Boy Advance games, which honestly are a bit limited compared to consoles, especially compared to like what the PS2 can offer, even then, it still gets into a below F tier. That's how bad Chain of Memories is. That even as a PS2 game, if you were to include it on this GBA ranking, it would land in F tier. Sleep says, now you're just being hateful. Yes, I am! Yes, I am, because it's Chain of Memories. Sleepless, now you're just being an asshole. Yes, I am. Indeed, I am. Okay, no, wait. We're gonna southeast corner of the map. So where am I at? Wait, how did I? Okay, now this is the south. Wait. I was supposed to end up in the southeast corner of the map. So it says, for the record, you're the only streamer I've seen that had that level of issue with Chain of Memories. Sleepless says, everyone else either enjoyed it or said it was their least favorite to play, but that the story was still good. And you think this is supposed to dissuade me? Do you think this is supposed to dissuade me? To make my hatred for that game feel unjustified? Because it might. But then I remember the playthrough I did, and how the game that and I'll still remember. But then I remember the playthrough I did, the first playthrough I did, and how that game was said. Now remember, the 0 cards are very important to fighting these battles. Okay, where could I get more? Who knows? Might get 20 of them. Might get 0 of them. Who knows? We should be, I will say though, we should be at least very happy. We should at least be very happy that Re-Chain of Memories was not made like it was a PS2 remake. It was a PS2 remake that got remastered into a PS4 game instead of like a PS4 remake of a Game Boy Advance game. Because if that latter option happened, then they would have absolutely made the cards like a gacha system. Like, they would have absolutely made the cards like a gacha system. Because you really don't even have to do much to do so. Sleeper says, I think it's just interesting, out of the dozen or so playthroughs I've seen, you're the only one that hates it to its core. Well, look forward to when I eventually play the original Chain of Memories on stream. Whenever I get to fully replaying through the Kingdom Hearts games, and we'll get to see if I end up like, and we'll get to see if my hatred of Chain of Memories is lessened because I find out that the original Chain of Memories actually was bad this whole time, or if it turns out that the original Chain of Memories is good, which will in fact deepen my hatred of Chain of Memories somehow, because it'll make me realize that the original idea for this is a good GBA game. Y'all just ruined it. Okay, anyway. Back to talking about some games that might actually be good. Let's see, what other games can I rank here? We're definitely gonna need to heal soon. I've played through or beaten nearly every mainline Pokemon game on the GBA. However, all of those I played through some time ago, so I can't really I feel like I shouldn't really rank them now. Even though it's Pokemon, so they're a lot similar in some respects. Oh, there's the Dreadnought. Okay, let's save here. However, on the other hand, Pokemon games are very similar in gameplay to each other. There's really... I mean, there has been some changes, but it's there has been, of course, there's been changes over years, but going to, the GBA version of Pokemon, there's really not that much. I guess I could go ahead and rank the the mainline GBA Pokemons, even though it has been some time since I last played them, because it's Pokemon. In that respects, I'd probably put, okay, I'm gonna put Ruby and Sapphire along together. I'm gonna put those at, B tier. I think that Ruby and Sapphire did add a bit to the, Ruby and Sapphire did add a bit, and they were good introductions to the third generation of Pokemon. With how they added with, double battles, and, the world and the map you got to explore. However, I'm gonna put like the reason I'm putting them at B tier is like after Pokemon Emerald release, there's really no reason to go back to Sapphire and Ruby. Like, it's fun. This is during the era where like the third game released is supposed to be like where like Pokemon releases like these first two versions of a game that have some differences between them to get people to like trade with each other, and then they just go ahead and release a third version that's basically the definitive edition. So yeah, it's one of those cases where there's really no reason to go back to play Ruby or Sapphire now that Emerald is. Now that once they released Emerald, because again, it's like a definitive version of these two games. Fire Red and Leaf Green. Okay, let me get Fire Red and Leaf Green. Those will also probably go in B tier. I'd put those in B tier, like under Ruby and Sapphire. Because it's the thing where... Where is Fire Red at? I know it's around here somewhere. I know Fire Red is around here somewhere. Oh. Sleep says, Fire Red had hands when I was a younger and dumber kid. The thing about, like... Okay, let me find it here. The thing about Fire Red and Leaf Green is that they are... Fire Red and Leaf Green, they are good remakes of Pokemon of Gen 1. They are good remakes of Gen 1. I'm sorry, okay, sorry, it's just bothering me a lot. Okay, there it is. Yeah, Fire Red and Leaf Green are good remakes of Gen 1. The only thing is that yes, Gen 1 was the foundation for Pokemon, but even when you remake Gen 1, like, part of this might be because I'm just tired of just because I'm not really interested in Gen 1 anymore, but when you really look at, like, Gen 1 compared to some of the other generations we've got, it's just really not as interesting a region. Even if you remake it and add more Pokemon in and add more stuff, you still got to keep, like, the same map layout. That's generally the same map layout, generally the same gym leaders, generally the same overarching, like, plot. I'm saying that in quotes because there's really not that much of a plot. And in that case, even when you add, like, more Pokemon, you update the graphic, you make the graphics look a lot better. Even when you add more onto it, the Kanto region just really isn't that interesting. Like, especially compared to more recent regions, and like the characters that are in like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet. There's like, yeah. Actually, I might go ahead and... No, I'll keep these at B tier. I'll keep these at B tier, because again, they are good Pokemon games, and they do play well. There's just really no reason. I just feel no inclination to ever return to, like, for Gen 1. Unless I'm doing a, that whole thing I keep saying, that it might have... That whole pipe dream I'm mentioning in the future of, like, playing through all the Pokemon games, doing Nuzlocke runs of all of them. I really, besides that, can't see myself ever returning to any Gen 1 game, because there's really not much to them. Well, okay, there is stuff to that. There is stuff to it. It's a Pokemon game. Of course, there's reasons to go back and play them, but compared to other, like, I don't really feel if I'm gonna play a Pokemon game, I really don't feel an inclination to play any Gen 1 game. Any games that remake any Gen 1 games, even games that remake Gen 1, compared to latter generations. Okay, what else do we got here that I can rank? Okay, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Fire Red, Team Fire Red. That's another game I'd like to play at some point. That's another game I'd really like to play at some point that I haven't gotten that I want to play on stream. Oh, here's an actual F tier. Sleep says, got it, you're a hater. Wait, are we talking about Pokemon Fire? Are we talking about Pokemon Gen 1, or are we talking about Chain of Memories? Okay, here, just like in the PS1, just like in the PS1 ranking list, where I really only had, like, out of all the games I played so far, there was really only one. There was only one F tier, and it was like a licensed fighting game, This is also the case for the GBA, where out of all the games I played, there's really only one game I would say is an F tier so far, and it is a licensed fighting game, and that's Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu. Dragon Ball has a lot of fighting games. Dragon Ball has a lot of fighting games. Dragon Ball has a lot of games on the Game Boy Advance. Dragon Ball has quite a few games on the Game Boy Advance. Out of all the Dragon Ball fighting games, Taiketsu might be... It's up there as one of the worst Dragon Ball fighting games. And out of the games on the Game Boy Advance, it's one of the worst looking games on the Game Boy Advance. It does not look good. It looks abysmal. They try to use these, like, really rough 3D models for... Well, it's like... No, they're like sprites, but they don't try to do, like, a, 2D anime look. They try to give them, like, a... Honestly, they look like... I don't think they were going for looking like messed up clay figures, but that's what they look like in Taiketsu. And actually, playing the game, it is very stiff, and it doesn't play well at all. It does not play well at all. There's really... Like, if I do that Game Boy Advance fighting games on Game Boy Advance, I might talk a little bit about Taiketsu, but there's really just to make fun of it. There's really not much to that game. Okay, we actually have to talk to this guy. Okay, it says, what do I want? Oh, okay, I guess we gotta find him. Let's cast Blizzard on ourselves and attack on him. I'm trying to think if there's any other Game Boy Advance games I could rank. There are a lot more I want to play, but I just haven't gotten to playing them yet. Well, there are a couple more that I've played. Like I've played almost every single Mega Man Battle Network game. However, it has been a long time since I've played those, so I definitely would want to stream them before I rank them. Okay, we need to use Magic against them. Oh, that's bad. Okay, let's use some Magic against this one. Ah, Gordon, you can't do anything. I guess you could attack Guy to increase his defense. Sleep says, I can vouch in Mega Man Battle Network 1 holds up as a solid 7.2 out of 10. Okay, let me have him kill everyone. Have her cast Thunder. Fire. Attack him. Yeah, I think that's really all the games I can rank right now out of the GBA games. I haven't played as many GBA games on the channel as I've... there's definitely a lot more GBA games I'd like to get to that I haven't played yet. Sliv says, make that assessment what you will. Whenever I get to the Mega Man Battle Network games, whenever I can fully play through those on stream, it's going to be a really interesting time. Because that is a series I have a lot of nostalgia for, but it has been quite some time since I last played them. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other... And I mean, a lot of these fighting games I might get to if I ever get to that fighting game on the GBA showcase. So because my nostalgia comes in March when I get the Star Force trilogy. Oh, that's right. That's another series of... Oh, she's dead. That's another series of games I really want. So says, won't even need a guide for that sucker. That's another series of games I want to get to, because I have played a little bit of the Star Force games, but I never fully beat them. Or I never fully beat any of them. Okay, let's cure up everybody. Cure. Fire. Attack. Slim says 1's great, 2's filler, 3's fantastic. Alright, let's try... Okay, we need to heal up everybody again. And heal up everybody again. And cast Thunder. Oh, okay, that was actually a boss fight. I just thought that was a tougher enemy. Because he had, like, the normal fight music. Probably want to avoid fighting those guys. Yeah, probably want to avoid fighting those guys. I guess let's give Furion the... Well, no, let's give Guy the this golden armor. And I've got some ethers here, so let's use them. So, well, I used up a lot of them, actually. Okay, teaches Blink. Let's give that to Furion. Scourge. Deals poison damage when used in battle. Okay, let's... Let me teach that to Furion as well. We've got about a little less than an hour left in the stream. We might not get to... I might not get to reading more Final Fantasy reviews on this stream. But, I mean, there's going to be more Final Fantasy 2 streams. And I've already ranked... Well, I've already ranked all the... I've already ranked all the PS1 games I've played so far. And I think I just finished ranking all the GBA games I've played so far. Maybe I should find other consoles... Maybe I should find other consoles I can rank the games that I've played for. Or that I've played. I guess since we are now in the era of the Switch 2... Yeah, I guess since we're now in the era of the Switch 2, I could rank all the Switch 1 exclusives that I've played. Like all the Nintendo first-party games for Switch that I've played. Slim says games are still coming out for Switch 1 though. That is a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. There are still, yeah, they are still making games for Switch 1. Okay, let me have her fight. Okay, her, cure everybody. Slim says literally the big holiday Switch 2 game, Metroid Prime 4, came out on Switch 1. That's a good point. Yeah, that might be something to do a few years from now when they've stopped releasing when they've stopped making new games for Switch 1. What? Okay, and well, we're now taking poison damage. Okay, hold on. Let me check the map of this area. There's only one place for me to go. The enemies are a bit tougher here, so I guess I should actually focus on playing the game. Okay, let me have him heal up everybody. Yeah, let me have him heal up everybody. Attack Furion so he can get more health, and attack Maria so she can, well, get more defense, and attack Maria so she can get more defense. Okay, fire, I guess. Then cure. Then thunder on everybody. And attack on them. Okay, let's just kill the rat. An Argate blocks the doorway, the cell is empty. Okay, well, can't really go there then. Let's just do normal attacks. After this fight, I might take a short break. Might be a good opportunity to take a short break. But I should definitely quick save before I do so. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, no. I thought they were blocking me. Okay, I can go up here. Right, let me take a short break, and when I get back, I'll continue fighting my way through the Dreadnought. Be back in a little bit. Okay. Let's explore around the, let's explore around this giant, airship. Filled with zombies. Now that I think of, but now that I stop and think for a second, yeah, it's filled with a lot of zombies. Just a lot of zombies and ghosts. Just walking around the floor of this airship. Oh, and a werepanther. The werepanther. Well, the werepanthers are nice. Let's go. Ah, beans. Oh, advanced rats. I like how silly some of the enemy sprites are. Okay, so around. Check to see. Yeah, we've got a little over 30 minutes left in the stream, so I'll be back. Since I didn't stream on Monday, I'll be back with more Bloodborne tomorrow. I'll be continuing the Bloodborne Emergency Donathon tomorrow. But even though I'm not playing Bloodborne today, any donations made to this stream will count towards the Bloodborne Emergency Donathon. If I am able to stream on my birthday, I'll need to think about what I'm going to play, because none of the games I'm playing right now are games I really like to play on my birthday. Like, they're not birthday games for me. Final Fantasy II, definitely not. RoboCop Rogue City is pretty fun, but that's not really a game I could see myself playing on my birthday. Or that's not really a game I want to play for a few more hours to celebrate my birthday. Bloodborne, probably not. I am beginning to, my opinion of Bloodborne is beginning to turn around to be more positive, but I still don't think I'd want to, like, play that for, like, 4, maybe even 6 hours on my birthday. I could return to some of the games that that's not good. I could return to some of the games I've wanted to play on stream, but I haven't been to in some time. Like, I haven't played Street Fighter 6 in a long time. I've always wanted to play Marvel Rivals on stream, but I've never taken the chance to. Although the one problem with playing those games on stream is that because of the internet problems I seem to be having with every stream I do from my parents' house, I am a little worried that I'm a little worried about streaming a game online might just make things a little worse. Streaming an online game might make things a little worse. Seriously, you'll play Marvel Rivals, but it has a battle pass. Then I just won't buy the battle pass. Which, that's not too hard for me. I never buy any battle passes. Okay, we need to use one of these antidotes around here. Enemies are really like use poison around here. I guess I could. Okay, yeah, heal them up a little bit more. And I mean, really, it's not that hard. I mean, really, it's I almost never have any inclination to buy a battle pass. I only did so once for Fortnite. I only did so once for Fortnite to get the Godzilla skin, in Fortnite at the beginning of last year. And that one time I had to play enough Fortnite to get the Godzilla skin in the battle pass. That somehow made my already deep hatred for battle passes even deeper. Also, I have no money, so... Yeah, don't have to worry about... Yeah, don't really have to worry about being tempted by battle passes. I have almost... I have maybe $5 in my bank account, so... Ah, dang it! I might have to cancel my. Shonen Jump. Dang, I might have to cancel the Shonen Jump online account that I had. I don't know if I can afford that. Dang it. Which sucks because I use that a lot because I read a lot of manga. Gosh, I need to get some sort of job soon. Anyway. Okay, let's go down here. Alright, we need to find Princess Hilda and get her out of here. And then blow this thing up. Well, they cast poison damage. I don't think they're going to be weak to poison damage. So it's a small blessing, but they do at least make the 3 most recent chapters of current running manga free access, I think. They do, and that really just means that what I'll have to do is... I can't let myself get too far behind on any manga that I'm currently reading. And also, I'll have to, And also, I won't be able to start any new manga. Any new Shonen Jump manga. Whilst I can't... While my subscription is cancelled. Good thing I caught up on One Piece. Well, like, quite some time ago, but still. Alright, so... So it says, granted, if you do want to have full range, Bear shared a link with me when Mangaka Lot went down. That is actually another problem. Well, that actually is a problem I'm seeing. It seems like quite a lot of, like... It seems like a lot of, like, manga... A lot of One Piece enthusiast fans, but specifically in the manga sphere, their sites are getting taken down. That's a real shame because for some... That's a real shame because for some series, that's the only way to read, to, like, get any sort of access to them. Oh, by the way, speaking of manga, I was thinking about shonen anime earlier today, and I realized something very important about making a shonen anime villain group. First thing, if you want to make a good shonen anime villain group, apparently you need to have, like, a member of the group who's just really... You need to have a member of the group who's a really chill shark person. Because, like, I was thinking about, like, the 7 Warlords of the Sea with Jinbei. And then, the Espada from Bleach with Tear Horrible. And it's funny that on both of those teams, like, not like the nicest, maybe not the nicest, but one of the nicest members on the team is, like, a shark person. I know that, like, the main villain group from Naruto, the Akatsuki, also has a shark person in Kisame, but I don't know, I've never read or watched Naruto, so I don't know how nice he is. I get the feeling he's not. Or maybe really just the lesson there is that to have a good... Maybe really the lesson there is to have a good anime villain group, you need to have a shark person. Oh, also, another lesson I've taken, and this one is really key. This one is really key if you want to have a good anime villain group. What you need to do, if you want to make your anime villain group stand out, you need to have all the members introduce themselves by taking part in one of the evilest acts possible. A mandatory company meeting. Like, it's the case, like, it's kind of a, it's a trope, but it's a really good trope that when you want to introduce, like, your big threatening villain group, have all the villains meet up in, like, a mandatory company meeting. And, like, you always gotta have the villain who doesn't want to be there. Because nobody wants to go to the mandatory company meeting. And, like, it's a great way to introduce, like, it's a, like, saying this is a joke, but it really is a great way to, like, introduce all the members of your villain group and show off their different personalities. Like, it happens in, like, Bleach with the Espada. It happens in, like, a couple of times in One Piece. It happens with Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts. It happens with, like, Shinra in Final Fantasy VII, which I know they're video games, but I count a lot of the same story tropes that are in, there's a lot of story tropes that are in, like, anime that they kind of also happen in Kingdom Hearts or and Final Fantasy VII, or, like, there are even some anime or, like, manga that were influenced by Final Fantasy VII's case. So I still kind of count those as, like, anime. Also, they've got a very because of their visual style. They're like, because of their visual style, it's like a very stylized, drawn look to them. Anything Tetsuya Nomura works on is anime to me, even though it's all video games. I guess let's heal everybody up, and then cure everybody is this. So it says, I think the nicest Espada is Nell. Well, yeah, but there's really no contest there, because Nell is like, she was kicked out of the Espada before she met up with the main characters. So yeah, if anyone here wants some tips for making a really standout anime villain group, make sure to have a shark person. Make sure to have a shark person in there. And maybe have them be a chill. Maybe if you want to really stand out, be a cool shark person who's kind of like either ends up working with the heroes or smoothes things out with the heroes when the whole when the conflict is over. And make sure to have the company mandated mandatory meeting. Sleep says, "Be nice to my guy Nomura, man. He is a fantastic illustrator." I am nice to Nomura. Even after all my problems with Kingdom Hearts, and after my worries with my worries of Final Fantasy VII Remake and like what the other two games could be like, even then I'll still go to bat for Nomura, because I still really like the Final Fantasy games. I still really like the Final Fantasy VII Remake games, what I've played of them so far. I still really like Kingdom Hearts. And I will still go to bat for Nomura. I will go to bat for Nomura, just like people go to bat for Kojima, saying that, like, here's a weird auteur. He's a weird auteur. And that's nice to have in the video game development space. Honestly, whenever Nomura retires, I hope he has a wonderful retirement. Just after Nomura retires, I hope that he just chills in his house, spends time with his family if he has family, and then just like spends his entire day drawing the weirdest designs he can think of. Make an entire series about characters who are all just like, they're all just either their outfits are entirely composed of belts. Their outfits are either entirely composed of belts, or they are characters who they're not even people, they're just people. They are just like belts in the shape of belts in the shape of a human figure. And he just makes all that, and he just makes that all for himself. Sleep says, Dew was born in 1970. He's already 55. I think it's been mentioned. I think it's been mentioned already, but if it hasn't, I feel like after the FF7 remake trilogy is done, that's probably gonna be. Yeah, it might have been mentioned already, but if it hasn't, I feel like after the FF7 remake trilogy and how much work it went into that, after that's done, Nomura's gonna probably go, all right, I'm done, bye. Kind of like what Harada did with Tekken at the end of last year. Where he was like, well, I don't think he outright retired from game development, but he said he left. But he decided to leave Bandai Namco. Excuse me, but he decided to leave Bandai Namco. Which is still crazy to think about, because even happy for him. Hope Harada does. Hope whatever Harada goes on to do next, he has a great time doing it. But like, even as someone who only has played, who's only very casually played Tekken, I've known Harada as a fighting game fan. I've known Harada because he was still like, he was like the face of Tekken. Sleepless Nomura's moved past belts. He's into plaid now. He's gonna enter retirement and find an entirely new style, an entirely new thing to make his style. Slim says, I'm kind of sad about the direction Square is heading in, since they're supposedly giving less and less leeway to creatives to do their own thing, and instead are going to be heavily regimented by corporate oversight. To be honest, I think that was the case already. Like, they're already being, like... I think that was kind of the case already, that they were being, like, no, like, you have to do... Like, they were being, like, more... Giving more corporate oversight. But I get what you mean. Like, the really great... Like, we have gotten some really great games coming... Like, some really great games that have been released by Square Enix in the past few years. And those are definitely, like... The cases where we got, like, really great games has been, like, a clear, like... The really great games we've gotten from Square Enix in the past few years have been, like, clearly, like, okay, this is something like the developers were, like... The developers had a lot of, like, focus. Or, this was, like, the developers were really The developers had a lot of leeway into making this. So he says, yeah, but how am I supposed to get Neo 3 World Ends With You if they can't give Nomura leeway? Okay, no, excuse me. The World 3 With You. Or maybe the alternative name is 3 World End With You. Well, Sleepless, here's how we're gonna get that. Or here's how we're gonna get that. I feel someone's gonna have to make it themselves. And what I mean by that is, if Nomura's retiring soon from game development, like, there's a couple of series that, like, I could see Kingdom Hearts continuing without Nomura. I could see Kingdom Hearts continuing without Nomura. And with that, like, he has someone who he's, like, they have, like... Because there's been plenty of people working on those games up to this point, besides Nomura. And there might even be, like, some improvements made to the games without Nomura working on them. I cannot see a World Ends With You game without Nomura leading it. That is his passion project. So, to get a new World Ends With You, we need an indie dev to make it. But specifically, We can't have an indie dev get, like, what we need is an indie dev to get obsessed with another town in the world. Like, another big town in the world. And they get up so obsessed with that, and they get up so obsessed with that city, that they make their own version of the Neo the World Ends With You, with that town as the center of the universe. It's not just we need like an art, like someone with a specific idea, someone who specifically wants to make a new version of The World Ends With You, but do their own take, do their own spin on it. They have to do what Nomura did and get so obsessed with a city. Doesn't have to be in Japan. Could go to like a city in Europe, and they just like get obsessed with it and make their own weird universe that just is all about that city. Okay, I need to like actually do it. Right? But that's how we get a new. That's how we get a new The World Ends With You. How did that miss? Okay, let's try. Slim says, I think you might have missed the mark on The World Ends With You. It's got so little to do with Shibuya itself and everything to do with the protagonist. Sleepless, Shibuya is literally the center of the universe in those games. Like, there are multiple side quests where you have to explore around famous locations in Shibuya. Okay, let's heal them up. Alright, let's go. Well, no, they already know fire. I guess I'll teach them. Sleep says, okay, Sleepless with two very conflicting statements there. Oh, hey, Lasume, who's watching on YouTube. Sorry I missed your, Sorry I missed your chat. Let me check to see if the stream's still working. I've really got to get better at keeping an eye on the YouTube chat. Also, I just realized I don't think we're gonna get to the reading more Final Fantasy reviews tonight. It's already about like 7:46, so I really don't have much time left, unfortunately. Okay, I'll try to get as far as I can before the stream messes up again. Or it's not back. Hold on. Okay. Wait, it says... Is it live? Okay, now it is live. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. Well, okay, the chat's not showing. So it says apparently you're both offline and offline. It works outside of mod view though. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna send another message in the... It looks like, unfortunately, though, the chat box is messing up again. Yeah, it looks like the chat box is messing up again, so... Alright. Let's give him these. Okay, well, there's not that much longer to the stream anyway. Yeah, I do. What I was getting to right before the stream might be disconnected again is that I really need to get better at like checking the YouTube chat because I missed another chat from the YouTube, unfortunately. Okay, let's save the princess, get out of here, and then we'll... Yeah, save the princess, get out of here, and then we'll... And then I'll probably try to find a good ending spot for the stream, since there's really not much time left. Furion, I meant to meet you at Kashwat Keep, but things didn't go as planned. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming to rescue me. Let's save the thank yous for later. I'll head for the airship with the princess. You find that engine and toss the Sunfire, got it? I'll make the airship ready for takeoff, and I don't plan on waiting around long. Okay, so yeah, we gotta go set this place on. We gotta set this place on fire. Well, let's see where the... Okay, we're gonna have to go back through here. Yeah, I'll see if I could try get... Let's see how far I can get before I have to end the stream. It's a shame. Gosh, I do hate that the chatbot keeps messing up. Or the chat box keeps messing up. That really sucks. Okay, we need to... Ow. Oh, okay. That really didn't do much. Yeah, let's cast this Cure to heal up everybody. And attack. Oh well. Check to see. So just want to say one more time before as we get closer to the end of the stream. So I'll be back tomorrow with more Bloodborne for the Bloodborne Emergency Donathon. I'll be back tomorrow with more Bloodborne for the Bloodborne Emergency Dumpathon. Normally I wouldn't stream on Wednesday, but because I missed, because I wasn't able to stream yesterday, I'm gonna do that stream tomorrow. And then I'll be back on Thursday with more Bloodborne. The usual Bloodborne stream will continue then. And then on Saturday should be more RoboCop Rogue City. And then I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do next week. Might be another week that's a little different. Next week might be another week that's a little different. Oh, also, okay, so I'm going to try to stream RoboCop Rogue City on, I'm going to try to stream RoboCop on Saturday. However, the streams might change. Hopefully this doesn't happen, but don't surprise if it does. There's a big freeze heading towards Texas over the weekend. Like, it's going to be like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is going to be like another big freeze in Texas. So that might affect things. That could even like shut down the electricity at the house I'm staying at. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but there's a non-zero chance it does. And if it does, I'll let y'all know. So I'll let y'all know. And I'll try to make up for it as soon as I'm able to, but... yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, so I don't think I went that way. Let's go this way this time. Yeah, we need to go down to the engine room, so let's go down there. And, we'll have to just see how many lives I have left. I think I have, like, around 380 lives left for Bloodborne, so... okay, let's get rid of you quickly. There we go. Alright. Get rid of them quickly. We really don't have much time left. And also, if you're watching this and are part of an anime villain group, I hope your next mandatory company meeting to discuss the lead villain's evil plan that definitely will go well and won't blow up in their face. I hope that goes well. Maybe not the plan itself, but I hope the meeting goes well. I hope it's not an awful meeting. Slim says, I choose to believe that me going to bat for The World Ends With You is what made Twitch commit Sudoku. If it did, I hope not, because I will also go to bat for The World Ends With You. Maybe it might, the honest reason might be, it might, you know what? It might be because of my talk about anime villain groups. And because Amazon, doesn't have, Amazon, who owns Twitch, doesn't have a cool anime villain group, they felt really insulted by me talking about much cooler villain groups than them. Alright, let's try it. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to, like... Okay, that fast forwards it? Oh, I didn't realize there was a fast forward function. How did I do that? Oh, okay, so it's Y. Okay, Y during the battles actually fast forwards the fights. Oh, that's like an auto battle thing, okay. We're not gonna do that. Even though my team probably could, even though these guys probably could win most of the battles with just auto attacking, I'm not gonna do that. If I'm gonna be playing, listen, if I'm gonna be playing this game on stream, then I'm gonna be playing it, dang it. I'm not gonna be taking any easy outs like letting the game play itself. If this game sucks, then I'm gonna suffer through it. So I can fully describe how it sucks. Uh-oh. Alright, let me try using the high potion to heal him up. And then let's quickly get rid of these two. Alright. Well, the good news is, Sleepless, with you saying that message, it did actually show up on Twitch. What the heck are these guys? Okay, well that's a soldier, so let me get rid of him. Sleep says, cycling back to Uyi is all about Neku and... Sleepless, you know how we were at... Sleepless, you know how we were at the very start of this stream, well, when you first showed up this stream, and then you made a joke, and then you said, thank you for understanding that I was making a joke? And then I said, of course I understood that you were making a joke because I often joke. I'm gonna need to get like a sign here. Maybe it's the way I say. Maybe it's the way that I talk that, or like when I say that I give things such a dry, serious tone of voice. When I give things such a fake, serious tone of voice when I make jokes. Maybe I need to like get a, or maybe just my jokes are shit. Maybe just my jokes are bad. That could be it. My jokes might just be awful. But I need to get like some sort of sign that here. I need to get some sort of sign that I can hold up that says I'm joking. I need to get better jokes. So lesson here is I need to get better jokes. I need to shut. Okay, stick to talking more about the corporate life of anime villain groups. Less about like the themes of like Square Enix lesser known Square Enix video games. Good to know. I'll try to keep that in mind. Uh-oh. Okay, heal. 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 Okay, we won't have much... Uh-oh. Crash Air Canary says, I heard that Hasbro is less cartoonishly evil. Well, first of all, hi Brash Canary. But Hasbro, they are cartoonish. They are very cartoonishly evil, but Hasbro is one of those cases where half of their cartoonishly, like half of it is that they're cartoonishly evil, and the other half is that they're cartoonishly stupid. And I mean, and I'm not just talking like regular corporate stupidity, which is in all corporations. I mean like there will be a business decision that would seem like someone could make. Or there have been opportunities or business opportunities where it was like the business version of someone taking a bow and arrow target and moving it directly in front of their faces, and Hasbro will still find a way to miss the target. Like, for a company that their main thing is selling toys, they really don't know how to sell toys. Let's try... Okay, heal up everybody here. Okay, it's already 8:04. We're gonna be ending the stream pretty soon. Just a little bit. There we go. Alright. Sleep says they picked up Bowser. That should make them more cartoonishly evil. Sleep says, I'm sure they've toyed with the idea of selling some stuff. That was a good pun to end. That was a good pun to have as we are about to end. Sleeper says, thanks, bro. No problem. Okay, there's some chests over here. Let me grab them. More rats. Okay, Maria's health is getting low. I'm gonna need to heal everybody up, because we've definitely got, like, a boss fight we're gonna have to deal with. Yeah, just a little reminder. I don't usually stream on Wednesdays, but I will make an exception tomorrow because I didn't stream on Monday. So that'll be more Bloodborne tomorrow. I'm gonna heal everybody up before we step in here. I feel like there's gonna be at least one trap. Do we have any ethers? I don't think we do. Nah, I think I used up all my ethers. Alright. Okay, Trident. Main Gauche. Monsties. Okay, let's try all our different magic against them. Thunder wasn't too effective, so let's try Blizzard and Fire. Fragile Carry says, me personally, I can't wait to see flying clown cars in D&D. From what I've heard, the advanced D&D initiative that Hasbro has tried to push is already, like, messed up big time. Because from what I've heard, it seems like the advanced D&D is like Hasbro trying to make D&D like more of a brand. Like really leaning hard into it being a brand. And their choices to do so are just really messing with things. Although wait, we saw situations of that before. Like even before like the new whatever their replacement for D&D 5e is, when they tried to shut down the OpenGL. Yeah, when they tried to stop people from making their own D&D stuff. And how like not just Slips as one D&D, that. And we saw, like, not just how much that hurt D&D's public reception, but also how much good that did for other tabletop gaming companies. Like, I'm willing to bet, like, I haven't looked into numbers for this. I haven't done any research on this, but I would not be surprised if you were to actually check and see that a bunch of other tabletop games have actually seen a surge in popularity, because as soon as Hasbro tried that one D&D thing, or what Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, as soon as they did that one D&D thing, if you owned a tabletop game, all you had to do would go like, hey, we're not gonna do that. Make whatever stuff you want for our game. That probably might have been one of the... Actually, okay, I don't know when the timeline of this lines up. And I don't know much about Critical Role. But that might have been one of the things that inspired the creation of Daggerheart. Like, I'm willing to bet some of the people who were part of Critical Role already had some ideas for their own tabletop game, because of course they do. If you're an enthusiast in a specific thing, for a lot of time, eventually for quite some time, and you build up an audience, eventually you're going to want to try to make your own version of that thing. So I think around the time they were doing all that was when Pathfinder 2E, and there was also a big surge in Vampire the Masquerade 2. Yeah, that might have been one of the things that caused... I don't know this because I don't know about Critical Role, but that could have been one of the things that caused Daggerheart to get made. Was like some of the people at Critical Role already had like ideas for a tabletop game, and then that one D&D thing came out, and they were like, well, heck, we have to have our own version. Well, heck, if they stop people being able to, like, add their own stuff to D&D, if they stop allowing people to have a homebrew, there's no way we could do our own, like, we could continue our show if we don't have, like, our own homebrewed, if we can't add our own stuff to D&D. Ow. Let's try... Fire, cure, attack. Okay, Ice Shield. Let's... Giant Cell. Okay, let's equip some of this stuff. That's a knife. Icy Shield resistant to fire. Okay, let me give him the Ice Shield. Let me maybe give her the main gauche. Actually, let me give her the Mithril Sword here, and then maybe the main gauche here. Yeah, let me give her this here. Although her knife skill isn't really that high at all. Let me just not deal with the... Let me just not talk to any of these guys. A Helldiver? Huh. Well, I guess we now... Well, I mean, I guess the Empire is kind of like Super Earth. I think, okay. Let's try getting rid of these guys first. Slims is quick before they try to sell you on Super Democracy. Good one. Okay, I guess we didn't kill any of them, so. Magic wasn't effective. Default to slashing them. Okay, let me try to do a quick save here. Okay, there's still... It looks like there's still... It looks like there's still quite a bit to hear, so after this fight, I'll go ahead and end the stream. Yeah, after this fight, I'll go ahead and end the stream because it looks like there's still quite a bit to hear. I thought I was near. I thought the engine room was going to be right through that door. Let's get rid of these rats rather quickly, or should I say, rat quickly. Okay, the engine room's right. Yeah, well, it's already like 8:14. I gotta go. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with more continuing the Bloodborne Emergency Donathon. Hope you all have a good rest of the night, and we'll probably go raid. Yeah, we'll go raid Midnight Sumo. They're doing another night of sumo wrestling. All right. Hope I can see y'all tomorrow.